Yeah, how's it going, guys? And welcome to Katawa Shoujo. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Today is Valentine's Day, and I thought I would do a game that's like Valentine-like, least. No, probably not. But it's some kind of sim game. I don't know. If you don't know Katawa Shoujo, if you don't know Katawa Shoujo is something about the community on something 4chan. Kind of like 4chan created game, but based on some story someone made years ago. I don't know. There are some people from 4chan who made this game. But if you want to know more about the backstory of this game, how this game was made, you can go to their website or read the game manual. Pretty much says different things. So you're probably thinking why I'm starting a new game. Yes and no. I'm not really starting a new game, but yes, I probably will start a game. Because it's Valentine's Day, I had to do something special. So this one would probably be a 40-minute long video or something. So I was considering a hot to full boyfriend, but pigeons! They're pigeons! I'd rather do this one. Disable adult content, I'll probably censor it, so I won't disable that one. Full screen mode, no, it's fine, blah blah blah. Okay, I seem to be doing fine, so we'll start a new game. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provides beautiful green canopy, far out the sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent from numbing in this cold. So, just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4:00 p.m. Ah yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan in the letter in the locker. But at least this way shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in the stagnant world. Can I press space instead? Their slow descent from the frozen forest makes it seem like the time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisa? You came! A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Well, aren't I a good-looking guy? Yamaku, I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result. I can't read! Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note, so I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. So yeah, visual novel, would I say. Visual novel game. So yeah, got lots of romance story here for today's Valentine's. My heart is pounding now, as if it was trying to burst out from the chest and claim this girl for itself. You're dreaming, bro. I'm pretty sure you're dreaming. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonos, I don't know, music to my ears. Yamaku flinched over so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out of if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Isao? I reach up to try to message my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Isao! My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. You had a heart attack? The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of the branches, the dull winter sky, Iwanako running towards me, all these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanako screaming for help in the incessant clatter of the branches above. Oh, opening video. Okay. 4-Star Leaf presents Katawa Shoujo. Ah crap, there's the line there. I didn't notice. I didn't crop it properly. Bottom 4. There we go. Oh, lost the music. Hang on. There we go. Well, let's give in to the people who made this game. We have to have the credits to the people who make games. There's an anime intro. Cool. That ticking is nicely animated. But yeah, Full Leaf Studio, you can probably guess that's the like logo of 4chan. The 4-leaf. And then Yotsuba. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Oh, I've been there for 4 months? In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I'd had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell their house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Because of a late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay in the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I have gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? Well, that was cold of her. She was about to ask him out, wasn't she? The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them. But it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So, I idly observed the scar of those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change in its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of omen. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. This game is gonna have a lot of text, so... But if you're interested in the story, yeah, keep watching. I'm not really expecting much gameplay of this is just story. At some point I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working on my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. But I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There's this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then setting them aside if he were to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hisao. How are you today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands the sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hands and took a look at myself. Feeling numb, how am I supposed to react to this? I guess there's a lot of drugs. Oh, diarrhea. Oh, shit. Or there sure is a lot on the screen. The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it, tempting to only make me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life? Every day? I'm afraid that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confident booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it would be best for you if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me if he knew full well that I wouldn't like it? Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy. That specializes with dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff and is only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it were really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go. But your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Say that 3 times fast. Well, you should be excited to the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school, that's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down. That's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help. In one way or another. Your father's right. And many of the graduates of the school have gone to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny, I had always thought my life would be actually kind of boring. But now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now, something about how I can go back to school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know now it's futile. I look around the room feeling tired of all this. The hospital, the doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to be a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something, even if it's a special school or something. It's a fresh start and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life would look like. Ah! I need water. All that reading out loud. But yeah, it's like I'm reading a book out for you. A visual novel. Act 1. Life Expectancy. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron and grey plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like if the gate of the school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking that the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the green. The kind of ground a school would have. More like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and a small fresh-cut grass and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it is, as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few buildings loom around about leafy canopies. Too big, too many, just for school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectation of a school of the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kinda eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here that I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hose flashing all around me catching my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again. How they were in the operating rooms are painted green because green is a common color. So why am I feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I start and in front of the haughty main building, I surprised myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I have no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely nowhere I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. A tall man with bad posture noticed me as I entered. We're the only one in the lobby, so it's only logical. Well, he looks alright. You must be Niki? Nakai. Oh, his last name. So you are! Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asks you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being in the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable. For in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Think of this, I almost missed what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Sure, why not? Yeah, sure, I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be in the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down the third corridor is marked the classroom for class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. That's a creepy looking painting right in the background, right there. Whoa! I need some water, hang on. I hesitated for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that. But there isn't any point in worrying so much about it. At least not at this soon. It's a small class, I say. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious, the ceiling is unusually high, and there's lots of space left over around in between the desks. The entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks, with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames. Simple and inefficient. I stopped walking in front of the classroom and faced the other students. They all look like normal, like students in any other school, but then why would they be here? They're probably like me, and I have something wrong with them. They're like me and have something wrong with them. Only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I noticed that one of the girls seemed to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Oh, there's more people here. And there's a fat guy sleeping in the back. What the... What? She looks awfully familiar from someone from K-On! Whose name I forgot who is. K-On! You know, the drummer girl. It's just not immediately obvious, blah 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 blah. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone is talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me. A girl with really long straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. Who does? There's one boy in the cane leaning back in the locker of the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. I don't see someone with a cane. Damn you scrolled too fast, game! Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me as she rims off her glasses. Then goes back to whatever she's doing. I'm guessing that's this one. She's kind of cute. So is this cheery looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. I guess this one. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please, welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands and so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who had only one hand. Oh, her? Or maybe she just has it down. I don't know. I cringe a little, but I hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hiso Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied even with what little I said, though. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glasses at me. It could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and then he's done. And when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps in this drum, with her one hand against her other wrist and ends in the bandaged thumb. All this reading, it makes me feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know. And who else you might be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignment and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow? The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh right, Hakamichi's right there. Shizune Hakamichi. Oh, the pink-haired girl. As she called out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha ha ha! What? What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi. Shichan. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. Looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledged my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully neatly brushed hair and oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of my dainty nose, and the music is so loud you can probably not hear me talking. The dark blue eyes at the scene that alternate every few seconds between the slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. What was that? She merely looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk to people, and who better to explain things to you?" I can see you're a little confused, right? Right. But I understand why you would think I was Sichan. Sichan is deaf. Oh, okay. So I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like the interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Sichan, of course she is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up here for no reason, right? Right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew that was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today so soon, Hichan, right? Pause! Periods! Hichan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say it out loud? Out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits! You look just like I imagined. Yeah, you look just like a Hichan. So I got nicknamed Hichan? Or Hisao got nicknamed Hichan? I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands in a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shichan wants you to know that she's the class rep. So if there's anything you need to know, you can just feel free to ask her. But she's deaf! Whatever. Do you like the school so far? I can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbled with a hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just think I came straight to class today. I just kinda came straight. Left at LOL. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with school either. Always. Even if it's a trip to a convenience store, really? Sichan? Learn about where you're going? I guess I didn't bother to do that. Or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it half-assedly. But anyway, I don't say anything and Misha signs something that ends with a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling. But that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal. As much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed the test. Wahahaha! Alright! Oh, and another thing. You don't have to call Sichan. You don't have to call Sichan something so formal like Hakamachi or class rep all the time. Just call her Sichan. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Shizune. Yep, Shizune's fine. Okay, that would be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly. So I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive a bit earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she still seems like that. Just less so, I guess. We haven't even touched the assignment. We should start working now, or Shichan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if you want to finish it before the end of class. That too! Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They are quite different, though the class rep is as calm as a professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch. That creepy-ass looking picture! Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descend even below the lobby, where I met down the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open up in the courtyard towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care. So we proceeded to the line. This is another long list of menu options, which seems great until I realized that many of them are to accommodate students for these special diets. How nice! It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patient. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to the table, sitting opposite of her. As a nibble indifferent at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes at me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand science, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at the person who talks to you is proper and polite. Do you want to know something? What? About anything! We're your guide, so you should ask if there's something anything. I wonder. Shizune intrigues me, and I kinda want to ask about something about her. But I can't really ask something that personal, can I? I can't come up with anything else to ask if I just focus on my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they are talking about girls you could go stuff or something. I quickly noticed that a conversation in sign is not enough to fill in. Maybe I should ask about the library instead. We arrived in the classroom early. We're not at the first. The dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if she was slowly turning into a stone. Just from our presence, Misha and Shizune either didn't notice or don't mind it, and as they walked directly past her to their seats and began to converse. I need an option. Can I? Oh, there we go. I need to music up and down a bit. It's a bit too loud. There we go. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Maybe it's the long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for today. Beside me, Misha and Shizuna are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hichan. We've got to hurry already since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Wait, the teacher said I had to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside. That picture! We join the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with the girls pointing out the other senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually a part of the main building. This is an auxiliary building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' offices. They even have a swimming pool. How is that official? Don't be silly, Hichan. It's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks, bye. A whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with the actual education? I guess it's necessary for a place like this. Wow, that looks like something from a horror movie. Or could be. I walk in hoping that this really would be only a quick visit like the teacher said. On the white door on the left of the green cross of the text head nurse and the nameplate. A voice from the inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded like a bit of an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The room is not large and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around in his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, but the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cups rings lingering on the desks. Hello there! What can I do for you today? He is young-looking and sort of rugged, but the dimples on his cheeks wash the expression away when he smiles. Are you the nurse? He smiles like a person I've heard. Look at that smile. I've heard this very same question hundreds of times. Why, yes I am. It says so on the door, no? You can call me by my name, or just the nurse, like anyone else. Of course, I shake my confusion, realizing I probably should have grabbed his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. Right, I'm the new student and my homeroom teachers told me to come and meet you. My name is Sao Nakai. His eyes light up with revelation as he snaps his fingers. Oh, you're that Nakai. I was just reading your file in the morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia and related congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? Defiancy or something. He gestures me and sits down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yes? Good, well, you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so I'll just go over this quickly. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from my staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if there's a problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow! This is like the hospital. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. His jokes feel so out of place that I'm left thinking why he even said it. Yeah, that's just that it's really weird to have so many medical people at school. You'll get used to it. I'm not so sure of that myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. No, let me just find your file again. While he searches for something from his computer and shuffles stacks of papers around, I'll let my gaze wander from around the room. It's the epitome of generic, I like to say. Beige walls and ceilings, dark grey laminate flooring, and all the equipment you'd expect from a school nurse's office. Even the ridiculous education posters are hanging on all four walls, reminding me to eat properly, 3 times a day from all the food groups. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from the stack of similarly thick files and open it. So you already have the medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening, so it won't or it won't be much help. Apart from that, do you have any sports? Do you do any sports? Rash stuff like, I don't know, boxing? He grins to his own joke, but I don't. Well, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm afraid I'm going to have to recommend you to refrain from doing that. At least for the time being. Oh, my lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow. But really, I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick a ball around. I guess I never did it out of burning passion for the sport, just to have something to do. Any kind of concussion might be very dangerous to your heart, and risking another attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by a sudden concussion to the chest area? There is no mention of the cause of your papers. Not exactly. I sidestepped the question acceptably, and he glances at me over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise will do you good. We have some physical therapy and such available, as I said, but I don't think you really need such heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk wall, rocks, or even light jogging. Jumping rope and that sort of thing. Swimming maybe? There's a pool here. So I was told. You were? Very good. At any rate, I'm sure you've been told this before. You just need to take care not to overexert yourself. He wags his finger to emphasize the point. No need, really. I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary. Take care of yourself. Okay. He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk. Obviously content. Good. That's it then. Come meet me if you ever need something. I'm ushered out before I even realized it. A quick visit indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building and the auxiliary building. Although my eyes, they still look one at the same. It's the first real look I had to the other students, so I watched people coming out of the school, going towards the gate, or the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they're going. And I still keep thinking that most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. And again, neither do I. Does that make me one of them? One of us? I should go somewhere to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The awareness of me only grows as I trudging towards the dorm, set a little way apart from the main building complex. There's a garden of some sorts between the school and the dorm. Shrubbery, flowers, and that overbearing smell of fresh cut grass that fills the atmosphere. It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel, because I haven't been outside for all that long. The dorm building is a big of made so much detailing. Blah 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 blah. It takes more time than necessary to fish out the key I was carrying from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the door is fairly new, functional, and boring. Isn't that the number for the police in Japan? 119. The emergency phone number for Denmark is 112. So I don't know. Like the American has 911. I don't know. Just like one of the main buildings, the halls of the doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs. The same goes for the elevators at the ends of the hallways. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside, a few students are watching the television. One nods and gives a quick hello before turning back to the TV. Seems like the only girls around here are sociable. I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. I climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seems to have a toilet and shower, as well as 4 rooms. About halfway down the hall, I spy room 119. The nameplates of the room etched into mine are blank. I guess there are just 2 of us here. Light shines from below from room 117, so I knock lightly. Hello? Is anyone home? From inside I hear a few movements, then the clicking mouth way up looks way more locks than I thought these doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. A bespectacled boy standing in the doorway. He's looking at me very intently through his extremely thick eyeglasses. Who is it? Blind? No, not at least not completely. Why would he have eyeglasses if he was? He leans closer to me until our noses are almost touching. His breath stink of garlic. What are you, Harry Potter? Hisao Nakai. I'm moving next to the room. I thought I should introduce mine. His face suddenly brightens in realization that he stands back upright, thrusting his hands out, smiling greeting, almost straight to my diaphragm. Oh, sup, dude? The name's Kenji. Ah, hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it, still a little rattled by the sudden change of attitude and vehement welcome. There's some suspicious-looking people going in and out of your room earlier. It was probably my parents. Your parents? You sure? Because they look more some other people too. You can't judge by a book on its cover. His out-of-place pervert is left hanging between us. Awkwardly, as I try to think of some other way to respond. Respond! I'd say the chances are high enough. He shudders and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Isao. Me? I don't think I could trust the chances. The only one I trust is myself. Does it mean I shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about this for a while. A wise decision. Damn, you're smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I hope not smart. He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean backwards to dodge it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. With that, he turns Pablo's around and shuts his door behind him. I slide the key in the lock of the marked door 119. Oh, what a nice bed. Bleak beige wall, white lining, and desk made of some type of light wood, ugly curtains. It's no one's room, impersonal like my hospital room was. My bags are sitting at the foot of my bed, looking a bit emptier than they did this morning. The closet is sitting open, stuck with my clothes. Also, it seems there's a number of school uniforms hanging there. I noticed pin on the sleeve of the shirts. Hi, Hichan, we unpacked your things and made your bed. They said that these don't fit, then you should go to the office tomorrow. If you have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom and Dad. Wait, do they also call you Hichan? Well, at least I don't have to worry about unpacking. I kinda have hoped I would have. And then there would be something to do. It's still too early. I put a note down on the desktop and lie down on the bed feeling drained. Lying there makes me want to read something, but I have nothing with me. I went to the hospital conditioned me for wanting to read whenever I have nothing to do. The restless urge to just keep growing until I had to stand up. I should have asked about the library. Damn it, why didn't I make that choice? Maybe it's the stress or something. I was pretty nervous that it was coming from, and for the entire day today, I still am, I think. Damn, I have to distract myself somehow, so I won't be this unnatural all the time. Tomorrow I'll go borrow some books from the library. Yeah, I'll do that. But for now, medications. I pick up one shake and hear the contents rattle inside and then read the glued-on pharmacy label. Saonakai, 2 tablets daily to stay alive. It kinda twisted having your life depend on chemicals like this. I resent it a little, but what choices do I have? With a sigh, I begin to my new daily ritual of taking the right number of pills from each bottle, being careful to check the correct dosages. I lie down again, feeling hollow and uncertain, and after that I keep staring at the blank, unfamiliar ceiling for a long time. It doesn't start looking any more familiar. Not even after darkness falls and long shadow draws across my room like fingers. The sheets feel slightly more comfortable, warm and nest-like against the chill that passes for room temperature here. Soon the lighter shade of darkness that is still the ceiling looks like every ceiling does at night, and it becomes the only thing I recognize anymore. At night comes with me to sleep, and I feel the coldness of the unfamiliarity and the fear cleaning up my spine once again. I keep drifting further away in the world I knew. Oh. Katawa Shoujo. Am I even pronouncing that correctly? I wake up in a strange room. Solid morning light shimmers against the light grey ceiling. I had forgotten how to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the 3rd room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that indeed, it's me who is supposed to be the one living here. My bag's on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medication on the night table. I stare at the bottle for a moment, deliberating until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from the foil sheet. I downed them with a chase of water without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I should stop soon. Blah blah blah. I'm getting tired of reading. But I'm actually interested to continue this game. I sling out under the sheet and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. Clothes. The artificial smell of generic deterrent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one. A natural one. It feels like a school uniform as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before, but it goes for other things too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school, except for the people. I think back to my talk with my Kenji yesterday. With Kenchi! Is there? Misha constant laughter and Shizune's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Or maybe people like them are what passes for normal around here. Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after classes yesterday, so maybe there are clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. All through class, the question remains in my mind, so I decided to ask Shizune about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. Oh, right, she's deaf. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down to the top of his perfect and evenly flat. So that the top is perfect and evenly flat. sorry, Hichan. Is this something you wanted from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, Hichan. My first thought is that means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway, Misha, please don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club, and a lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you're actually transferred in a busy time. Maybe you can help out too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know. Hichan, the truth is, it's a local event, and I'm not from this area, so... She starts signing desperately to Shizune, asking her to bail her out. Shizune adjusts her glasses at the end of the oddly grandiose flourish and starting signing hard and heavy. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs her chest as she shouts Shizune's words out at me with a disproblem. So loud I can see heads turning to look in our direction. Not so loud. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideas of and belief behind festivals inevitable change with time. Now, it's about delicious fried food and amusing little games that you play to win prizes. Ha ha ha. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, battering his long wooden pointer against the other. Like the other palm of the baton, he shoots a pointing gaze at us. Finally noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. Shizune doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though brushing it off without a care. We're in the middle of class and should start working. That's right, Hichan. What? That's right, Hichan. Are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchanged between them. Misha's tone has also changed. Although it does that every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a girl with long dark hair get up from the desk and slip silently towards the door. It doesn't seem like she was working in a group. No one seems to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher, who's also looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? Hichan, is something wrong? Do I look uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me looking after the girl who left? No, nothing. Okay, well, we're just asking you. You don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Okay, Hichan, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna save here. I've been recording for about an hour now. Save the game. Create a new save. Progress successfully saved. Hey, oh, a chippy. Text history, oh my god, that's a lot. I've been playing for 42 minutes? Wow, really? Well, you know. I haven't played for 1 hour, but 42 minutes. But that's enough, I guess. I'm gonna keep this let's play on hold or novel. If you're like interested to know more of the story or anything, you can leave a comment saying I should continue this, but it has to be a while because I got so many other games to go on. I only did this episode because it's Valentine's Day. I needed something, I don't know, sim dating kind of game. But it starts quite slow, this game. It started slow, I guess more things will come up as I continue the story, obviously. So, enjoy your Valentine's Day. As for me, Valentine's Day is just a normal day. It's just any other day for me. There's nothing. I never did anything on Valentine's Day. So anyway, here's a high five, maybe a heart right there. I don't know. For high five, yeah. Go. Ah! Okay.